friends, today we're going to be stitching a spooky sweet pumpkin. Let's get started.
Starting with our water soluble stabilizer, I printed this and cut it out. I'm just going to peel this now and place it where I want it on the sweater. So I'm going a little higher with this one. I try to line it up with the armpits. Feel free to get creative with your placement, but I'm going to put this right in the center here, and then we're going to get started threading our needle. So I'm going for orange, going literal here, but I'm going from the tip of my finger to my elbow a couple of times and then giving myself a little extra tail so that I'm able to thread that in the back and keep my back a little bit neater. So I'm going to double knot this and then go ahead and thread it. So again, make sure that you're using the colors that you like. You could do a total silhouette, you could have a different color sweater, whatever combination you like, go for it. So I've got my threader here. I'm going to put that through the eye of my needle, and then I'm going to thread in the yarn. So I'm working with one strand of yarn. You can double this up too if you want a chunkier look and feel. Just be sure that you're using the correct needle for your yarn. Okay, now that I have that threaded, we are going to start with a chain stitch. So I'm going to outline the pumpkin. You could also fill it in, but I'm going to be outlining it with a chain stitch, but I'm going to do a little twist on it. So I'm going to come up through the back, and once I pull it through, I'm going to go down into the same hole and then right back out about a stitch length ahead. Now I am going to have to make sure that my yarn is looped over, and then I'm just going to pull that to create my loop and secure. So this is a little bit faster way to do the chain stitch. You can also do the traditional chain stitch. You could do a back stitch to outline this. Feel free to mix it up however you like. So again, I'm going back down through that same hole, out about a stitch length ahead. I'm going to make sure that my yarn wraps around my needle to create that loop, and then I'm going to pull it through. So I'm going to keep going around. I'm going to finish the outline of this pumpkin, and then I'll meet you back for the stem. So now I've gotten the pumpkin outline completed, and I started my stem. I initially started with back stitch. I decided to go with the chain stitch for this one, so feel free to mix it up. But again, same technique where I'm coming up and then I'm back down in the same hole, stitch length out ahead, and pulling it through. Next, we're going to be working through the eyes. So these are little floral eyes, little eyelashes, however you want to treat these. I'm going to be doing lazy daisy, so I'm coming up through the back, down through the front in the same hole to create that loop. And then I'm going to catch that at the top of the petal. So I'm going to bring my needle through at the top of that petal and hook that just like we were doing for the chain stitch. This is just a detached version of that, the lazy daisy is. So I'm going to come up through and then right back down just over that yarn to secure it. And I'm going to do this for the rest of the eyelashes or flowers. I've also been filling in the center. Feel free to leave it as a loop. I just come up through the middle and then back down right where I secured that initial petal, and I put that down just to give it a little more filler and just a little more color. Now for the eyes, I'm doing French knots. I do 3 for each of these. So I'm coming up through the back, I'm wrapping a couple times and then right back down and keeping that yarn tight in my other hand as the knot forms. So I do a few of these. You could also do a satin stitch here if you're not feeling great with the French knot. The French knot just gives it a little more texture and a little bit of variety with our stitches. So I'm going to finish these up, and then I will meet you back for our little heart nose. So now for the nose, I'm going to be doing a satin stitch. I'm going to do the same for his little smile. I like to split my shape, so I come up through the back, down through the front, side by side by side to fill it in. I do try to split it to keep it a little more even and to make my shape the way that I want. So I try to angle these to create that heart shape, and then I'm just filling in from there. Now for the smile, I'll be doing the same thing, and again, I'm splitting my shapes. I do it because otherwise I get very wonky, and it just helps me stay a little more even. So I'm going up through the back, down through the front. I'm gonna split these, and then I'm gonna fill in the middle. So like I'll split that, and then I'll come up in the middle and just keep filling that in until it's nice and full. Again, this is our satin stitch. All right, now we've got our stitching done. It's time to rinse this water-soluble stabilizer. So I ended up soaking this overnight. I put it face down, but it takes a little while. It will come off. You could also just throw it in the wash. There it is, our happy little pumpkin.
Key takeaways. Always, always, always wash your garment or fabric before stitching. Use the colors and stitches that best reflect your style. To avoid dark lines, be sure to dissolve the water-soluble stabilizer completely. This may mean soaking it overnight. Leave a long enough tail that you're able to weave on the back of your garment, and use a whip stitch technique to secure. For a soft backing and to reduce thread pulls, try adding the sulky tender touch to the back of your garment. Wash inside out in a delicates bag to prevent damage. Laying flat to dry will also help. Happy stitching!